Welcome to Synagogues of Europe. This is the Czech Republic, part 2, and we're checking out the Jewish presence in the city of Prague. The first synagogue is called Beit Simcha. It is a progressive synagogue, similar to Reform Judaism in America. Shabbat services are held every Friday evening. This congregation was formally registered with the Ministry of the Interior of the Czech Republic in 1994. And since 2002, it has been a member of the American Federation of Reconstructionist Judaism. It moved into its current location in April of 2010. Our next stop is the Chabad House, or the Chabad Maharal Center of Prague. It's also home to a kosher restaurant. This Chabad branch is under the direction of Rabbi Manis Barish. Here is a look at its sanctuary interior. The synagogue is called Ahavat Yosef Chabad. Services are held on a daily basis, both morning and evenings. Here is the Klausen Synagogue. It adjoins the cemetery. Klausen is a German word meaning closed space. The first synagogue in the area was built in the 1570s and it was burnt down in the late 1600s. A new one was put up around 1694 and remodeled almost 200 years later. Its most recent renovation was done in 1995 and 96. The building is under the care of the Jewish Museum of Prague. Here is a look at the interior main sanctuary. And here is the building next to it housing the cemetery administration. To the left above the front entrance are Hebrew words which read Chevra Kadisha. This refers to the group of dedicated people who ensure a Jewish sacred burial. The next site is another Jewish museum piece. It's the Meisel Synagogue. It was also built in the late 1500s. It's called Meisel in honor of the man who first financed this construction, Mordechai Meisel. It was also damaged in the late 1600s by a fire that affected the entire ghetto. For whatever reason, during the Nazi occupation years, they stored much of the Jewish artifacts of the community in the synagogue. Renovation was done to the synagogue in the mid-1960s, the late 1980s, and also in the late 1990s. The most recent reconstruction took place between 2014 and 2015. Another site is the Altanaya, or the Old New Synagogue. It is also under the care of the Jewish community of Prague. The most recent chief rabbi of Prague is David Peter. The synagogue has services on Shabbat both Friday evenings and Saturday mornings. Here is the Pinchas Synagogue. It's another one under the care of the Jewish Museum of Prague. It's supposedly the second oldest synagogue in Prague that's still surviving. It was originally financed by a family called Horowitz. Several times it has been restored from damage, and most recently in 2002 there was a flood. That's because the main sanctuary is below ground level. We believe that today it is still used for selected services, and that this is a look at the sanctuary interior. Here's a more modern synagogue. It's called the Jubilee Synagogue, also known as Jerusalem Synagogue because it is located on Jerusalem Street. It was constructed in 1906. During the Nazi occupation, it too was used to store confiscated Jewish property. It was originally called Jubilee because of a reference to Emperor Franz Joseph I of the Austro-Hungarian monarchy. When that empire was dissolved after World War I and the area became Czechoslovakia, it resorted to the Jerusalem Synagogue name. At the beginning of April of 2008, the site became a museum. And here is the location of what is known as the High Synagogue. And here is the Spanish Synagogue, which is not Sephardic. Its name was chosen because of its architectural design. It was built in the mid to late 1860s to replace another synagogue that had previously been there, the Alt Shul, or Old Shul. Note the protective barrier to prevent motorized vehicles from crashing into the side of the building. The building was last renovated in 1998. Here is a view from the front of the building. This concludes our look at the Jewish houses of worship in Prague and in the country of the Czech Republic. There are other countries to check out, so bye for now and see you soon.